My coworker secretly took credit for a project I created, so I let her present it. Without the final slides. I work in the marketing department of a mid-sized tech company, and recently, our team was tasked with building a pitch for a potential long-term client. It was a huge deal. If we landed this contract, it would mean a lot of visibility, not to mention serious bonuses down the road. My manager split the responsibilities between me and my coworker, Emily. I've worked with her a few times before, and while we get along on the surface, I've noticed she has a habit of disappearing when the real work starts. She'll be in all the planning meetings, offer vague, "Yeah, that sounds good" feedback, then mysteriously vanish when it's time to actually execute. This time, I was determined to keep things clear, so I laid out a shared checklist with deadlines for both of us. She agreed and seemed enthusiastic, but as the days went by, she kept missing deadlines with excuses like, "Oh, I thought you already did that part. I was sick yesterday. I had to help another team, but I'll get to it tonight." Guess what? She never got to it. I ended up building the entire campaign deck from scratch: branding strategy, social media rollout plan, audience targeting, content mock-ups, even mock budget slides. I basically worked 12-hour days for a week straight while she replied to emails and sent me memes. Now here's where it gets shady. A few days before the pitch meeting, our manager casually mentioned how great it was that you and Emily teamed up so well on this, and how she's been talking a lot about the presentation plan. Excuse me? What presentation plan? Turns out, Emily had been talking to leadership like this was some grand collaboration, not exactly lying, but omitting the fact that she'd done the bare minimum. She even volunteered herself to present to the client on behalf of the team. I was livid, but instead of confronting her, I decided to let her walk straight into it. See, I had finalized the last section of the deck, the part with the performance projections, analytics, budget justification, and next phase strategy, and hadn't uploaded it yet to the shared folder. Not maliciously. I was planning to, but now I wasn't so sure. When Emily said, "I've got this, don't worry," I just smiled and said, "Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you need anything." The day of the presentation, she was wearing her most confident fake smile. The client was on the call, my manager, our director, even someone from C-level joined. She started presenting my work, slide by slide, like she had poured her soul into it, until she got to slide 17. That's where the file ended. She looked confused and said, I think the rest didn't load. Maybe a tech issue?" The client asked, "Aren't you going to go over the next phase projections and budget?" She awkwardly laughed and said, "Oh, we can send that over later." That's when I spoke up. "Actually," I said as casually as possible, "I have those final slides." I assumed I was presenting that section, so I kept them local. "Let me just share my screen." The silence was chef's kiss. I presented the rest fluently, answered the client's follow-up questions, and wrapped up the pitch. The call ended well. We haven't landed the client yet, but they seemed impressed. After the meeting, Emily pulled me aside on Slack and said, "You really threw me under the bus. You made me look unprepared." I replied, "I didn't do anything you weren't already doing to yourself." She hasn't spoken to me since, and I still haven't told our manager how little she contributed. Not yet, anyway.